You weren't there during that time, but if they were getting this information from a political party and then using it for surveillance against an opposition party candidate, that's a problem. Do you agree that that would be a problem for the American people?
I do agree, Congressman, that any inappropriate use of the FISA process for political purposes is something that we should all be very concerned about and take very seriously.
That's FBI Director Christopher Wray getting grilled on the Hill by my next guest, Congressman Ron DeSantis, who is fighting for the truth the American people deserve to know. Congressman DeSantis joins me live on the phone. Okay, so we couldn't get you to a studio. Congressman, we appreciate your being here. Did you get any answers that day when you sat and Christopher Wray appeared before you?
Not what we had hoped for, Judge. There's a number of pieces of evidence that Congress needs to have access to, starting from the role of this guy, Peter Strzok, who got removed from Mueller's investigation. He was the lead agent for Hillary, conducted the interview of things like Cheryl Mills. I think he was involved in the dossier. We want to know what his role is, whether the FBI paid for the dossier, whether Strzok was involved in using the dossier to get surveillance. We got answers of none of those.
Okay. Now, given that you did not get answers, and we've been asking questions for the better part of a year, the question now is, and you can understand the frustration of the American people, the question is, we don't want to keep with this every day, you know, let's ask another question, we want answers. So let's talk about contempt. Senator Grassley, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, has sent 3 letters to Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. And Rod Rosenstein has not answered any of them about Andrew McCabe and the FBI and the investigations of him by the DOJ, by the Inspector General, by the Office of Special Counsel, EEOC. And what do you do to get answers from Rosenstein?
Well, he's going to come before the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday, and it's my belief that if he's not willing to produce those answers, if he's not willing to produce some of the information that we've been asking about now for months, then Congress needs to hold him in contempt. You can't just thumb your nose at the American people and not produce documents and not produce witnesses that Congress is entitled to and think you're just going to get away with it.
All right. Christopher Wray did not answer a lot of the questions, especially a question from Jim Jordan regarding whether or not Peter Strzok was the affiant on that application for the FISA warrant. If that were the case, of course, then there is a disaster for this nation where the FBI is getting involved in a presidential campaign with a fake dossier to destroy an opposing political party. So we didn't get an answer from Christopher Wray when the truth is he didn't have a legal reason to prevent us from finding out who signed that affidavit for the warrant. All right. What do we do to Christopher Wray?
Classified.
Right.
It is not classified. It's not sources and methods. There are some interesting information about what may be in that affidavit, but we weren't even asking about that. We were just asking about, was Strzok the affiant, and then did he use information gleaned from the dossier? Very simple question. So Devin Nunes, who's been doing a great job, he has warned both the FBI director and Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, that they're walking into potential contempt of Congress.
All
and
right.
I told the FBI director that myself. I said, your answers
listen,
aren't acceptable.
I have a short period of time left.
To do that.
Congressman, Christopher Wray, head of the FBI, will refuse to give you information. Rosenstein, I believe, is going to refuse to give you information. Are you, and do you have permission of the leadership, Paul Ryan, to hold Rosenstein in contempt if he appears in Congress and does not give you the answers that you want?
Yes. So I spoke, as Jim Jordan and I spoke with the Speaker. He correctly says we deserve this information. He wants the information. If we can get that before the hearing, great. But if not, he is absolutely prepared to authorize a contempt citation against the Deputy Attorney General. And just think about that, being held in contempt. Eric Holder, I think, was the only other high government official who's been held in contempt, you know, in the last many years.
But Congressman, nothing happened to Eric. He was held in contempt. We want a contempt, if that is deserved, and then a sanction for contempt. Anyway, Ron DeSantis, Congressman, we'll have you on next weekend to hear what happens. Thank you.
Thanks, Judge. Have a good one.